Hey, hey, hey. Check it out, everybody. We are live here at Stop Doing Nothing with Patrick Allmond. Do me a favor and drop as to where you're listening from, what your name is, what you got going on today. Today we're going to be talking about something that I was reading earlier, and I actually ended up sharing it on Facebook, but I want to go into it a little bit more in depth. And that's the concept of deserving something versus desiring something, and kind of the mental tricks we dump on ourselves, and we think that we deserve something. And I've got a part of a book here. I'm going to maybe a couple of paragraphs I'm going to read to you here that kind of inspired this. This morning I was reading part of an excerpt from a book, and I'm going to read this right now and share it with you. And that's what kind of inspired the notes I created and the topic we're going to talk about today. And let's see, what does this say here? Do not expect to equal, here we go. No, I'll read from the beginning. So bear with me while I read this. Do you envy someone who is popular at work, invited to parties, and spoken of in social circles? If they attract love because of positive character qualities, be glad for them. If they attract attention because of negative character qualities, be glad you don't share them. Do not expect to equal anyone in effect without putting forth a similar effort. And that's mainly what we're going to be talking about today. A person who rarely leaves home, who doesn't converse with praise and encourage others, will not attract friends. Everything has its price. How much does lettuce cost? If you are unwilling to pay $1 for lettuce, yet you envy the man who has a bag full of lettuce because he paid $5, you are a fool. I love that one. Do not imagine he has gained an advantage over you. He has his lettuce and you have your coins. So if you have not been invited to a party, it is because you haven't paid the price of the invitation. It costs social engagement, conversation, and praise. If you are not willing to pay this price, do not be upset when you don't receive an invitation. So that was the inspiration for the topic. And the topic today kind of phrase about getting what you deserve. And oftentimes I've heard people talk about what they think they deserve. And hopefully you've kind of fixed this mindset, but if not, I'm hoping to tweak that a little bit today. And if you ever talked to someone and they'll look at someone famous, whether locally in your city or in your town or in your state or someone nation or worldwide, and they'll say that person doesn't deserve that. I work hard, I deserve that. That is what I should be getting. That person is not worthy of that. That person had a silver spoon put in their mouth, and they did not really, put forth the effort it takes to gain that whatever it is. And I think, like I said earlier before I played the video, that the challenge of what we deserve is the big part here. When we say I deserve something, I think oftentimes that people think that it should just be given to them. That whether it's success or money or popularity or a good job or an exorbitant amount of money or a large salary, that's something that you deserve because you want it. That's the mistake that most people make. I deserve it because I want it, because I think I am owed it, because I am, if a 22-year-old over here has something and I'm 22 years old and I have similar likes and I've done similar work that that person has done, I deserve to have what they have. And if I don't, something must be wrong in the world. Something must be unequal. And this is something where Patrick has a big difference between most people in the world. Is if I don't have what somebody else has at my station in life, even though I'm equivalent somewhat to their station in life or their place in their life, then something is imbalanced with the world. I should be equal to somebody else in wealth, in physical possessions, in travel ability, in skills. I should have that because they have that. And to me, that's just kind of a load of bullshit right here. We're going to go through that in some more detail here. Of course, first of all, if you haven't learned by now, one of the biggest mistakes you can make in the world is comparing yourself to somebody else. And that's something, we all got those lessons in our life that we wish we would have gone back to ourselves and told ourselves. And this is one of those 14, 15, 16-year-old lessons that we, should have gone back and told ourselves. That when you're 14 or 15, Do yourself a favor right off. Save yourself several decades of grief and stop comparing to where you are and what you have to what somebody else has. We've got, I'm going to assume, billions of people on this planet, and no two people are living the exact same life. No two people started from the exact same place, put in the exact same work, and ended up with the exact same results. It just doesn't happen that way. There are so many factors that go into success and where you go, and part of it is even luck. Yeah, it really sucks oftentimes, but luck is a big part of success. And you know what luck is, right? Luck is just being prepared, having the right presented to you at the right time. That's all that luck is. And I could do the exact same work from the day I was born as my twin brother, and it could be 5 minutes of luck in an elevator or 5 minutes of luck in an airport line, and one of our lives could be altered, even though we put in the exact same work, we put in the exact same effort. And this has actually happened before. I have, in my travels, I have been fortuitous enough to be in line with, behind somebody and struck up a conversation, and that ended up in, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I mean, what are the odds of me, person A, being next to person B, us striking up a conversation? First of all, us being in the same city, us being in the same building, us striking up a conversation, her having a business need, I having a business gift to offer her, and us staying connected. I mean, just what are the odds? There are people who at that particular point in time in life had done all the exact same things I had done. But the universe just dropped that thing in my lap right there, and bam, it was luck. And somebody else who was my same age, had the same skills, probably thought they deserved what I got, but I got it because I was lucky. So luck is a big factor in all of this. But we're going to talk about some of the other factors here. Let me see. Another thing I think is that we make we really get pissed off at people that get things handed to them. So I'm not talking about luck anymore. I'm talking about the silver spoon people. We hate rich people. We really do. We despise rich people that earn their riches. We despise rich people that are given their riches. We despise, royalty over in countries that still have royalty, with kids that are just born into given everything. The parents barely have to raise them. Their life is just given to them, and we hate those people. We love to hate movie stars. We love to hate musicians who make a lot of money because we don't think they deserve it. They were just handed that. Someone just gave them that. And I'm not talking about the musicians and acting so much, but the people who are born into wealth, or the people who are handed the Trumps of the world. And I'm not going to get political here, but we just hate those people. And I've always found that fascinating because I've always thought, well, dang, they are darn lucky. Luck isn't just being in the right place at the right time. Luck is having the right DNA and being born to the right parents. You know what? That is also luck, and we should not hate those people. They just happen to be lucky. That the chances of their parents' DNA getting together and creating them, again, was luck and being in the right place at the right time. There's no reason to hate rich people. We shouldn't hate rich people. We shouldn't want them to pay more money. We shouldn't say that we deserve their wealth, and their wealth should be divided up evenly against everybody else. And whenever I see somebody online or in a news article or an op-ed say, well, you know what, if such and such took their billions and they paid every person in the country $10,000, then we would instantly alleviate poverty. Or if they use their massive billions and provided vaccines to everyone in X country, we could wipe out polio or things like that. First of all, every single rich person I've ever studied or paid attention to has dumped a shit ton of money into things like famine relief and charity and solving hunger and things like that. They're still allowed to have their money, and it's not really fair on us to hate on them. So when I think about when I talk to people or when I coach people that get in this mindset of feeling like they're behind or they deserve more or they want more, I always like to remind them of a few things. And the first thing is, you know what, stop using the word deserve, because you do not get at all what you deserve, because what you deserve is very subjective. Okay, what you deserve is kind of an opinion. I think I deserve $1 million, but it's not going to happen in the next 5 or 10 minutes. So, oh well, I'm kind of up Schitt's Creek. So I don't like to use the word deserve. I like to use the phrase, you get what you work for. And that kind of covers the luck side as well as the, the hard work side, because, what you work for covers that you may be in the right place at the right time. You may put yourself in more opportunities. So I like to kind of gear people that I'm giving coaching to, that stop using the word deserve to use the word more, you get what you work for. And so if you want to start, kind of realizing and being in positions of wealth, or of getting things that you want, or, physical items, if that's what you're really into, it's important for you to start changing the actions you take every single day, and put those more in terms of creating opportunities for yourself. And again, this all comes into some mindset coaching and a bunch of other stuff that we do here at Stop Doing Nothing. And we also have to get out of the habit of the comparison here. So how do we stop comparing ourselves to other people and getting in this mindset of we get what we deserve versus we get what we work for? Well, the first one is really obvious, and so I was kind of remiss to add it to my list, but you know what, it's on there. And that is the goal, and the goal setting and the visualization, and techniques you've heard from other people for years. If you want to, there are multiple ways to spend your time in this world, and one of them is to really kind of obsess over people who have things that we want. And that is unhealthy for a couple of reasons. I heard someone say once that if you obsess over what somebody else has, whether they are higher than you in a station in life or lower than you, you will become one of two things. You will become bitter, or you will become vain. Or is it you will become jealous, or you'll become vain? That's what I think I heard it put. You'll become jealous if you're constantly looking at someone who has stuff that you want, or is at a higher station in life. And you will become vain if you constantly look at people that have less than you, and you kind of look down your nose at them, and you think that you deserve what you get and they don't deserve what you have. So that whole concept of comparing yourself to other people is going to make you, like I said, either vain or jealous. And so you have to stop doing that. And to me, again, step one here is the goal setting and the visualization. Stop basing what you want on what you see that other people have. For example, I'll give you one right here. As we all know, it's a big thing on social media for people to post vehicles that they have, right? A very common thing for us to see people post images of cars on there. And if I follow those kind of people, one of the things that's going to happen is I'm going to get jealous of those people. Well, guess what I've realized? I'm not a car person. I like a nice car, but to me, a car very much gets you from point A to point B. And I will never be a Maserati person. I'll never be a cool Corvette person. I happen to think the Tesla is pretty cool, and I like a good BMW and a Mercedes myself, but I will never be the person that's obsessed with cars. But if I follow someone who's obsessed with cars, in a way, I will become jealous of them. So what I had to do is basically say that these certain things are my goals and certain things are not my goals. And having a nice car is not my goal. It just really isn't. Rolling around in stacks of money is not my goal. So as soon as you kind of do some goal setting and some visualization and setting of what you want, it makes it very easy to ignore other stuff and get rid of the jealousy. So that's the first one, obviously. I don't want to go into the whole thing of goal setting. That's a whole other one right there. I've talked about before. So that's number one, the ways that you can basically stop comparing yourself to somebody else, which is the whole theme of the broadcast today. Number two was the importance of your network and associating with the right people. I have learned, and I've made the mistakes over the years of associating, of not keeping a good network, if you will. And I'm always working on improving that. But the more I keep a good network and the more I'm around the right people, the more I just notice that luck happens. And it's really weird how that is. And it happens unintentionally when you surround yourself with the right people. And with the right people, I'm talking about the things you've probably heard of before, the people that are nice, but then also maybe at the station from where you want to be. If you can find yourself with someone who's more successful at you, but is also a nice person, and you're around that person, you learn from that person, and you learn from that person's network enough, which can eventually become your network, then luck just happens. More opportunities will spring up when you're around people that have what you have and are willing to help you get it. So, I would say that take a serious look at your network, not your online network. Don't count your Facebook friends as your network. Most of your friends, especially those of you that have over about 200 or 300 connections on Facebook, these people are not your friends in any way, shape, or form. These people are connections. And some of your connections are acquaintances, and some of your acquaintances are. But if you've got 2,000 or 3,000 Facebook connections, don't make of believing those people are friends. And those are not the people you should be primarily associating with. What you should be doing is finding people in the real world and taking your relationships offline. Something that I'm always trying to do. I even made some adjustments today here to make sure that we do that in the offline world. And the third one I would suggest is the importance of accountability coaching, which I'm not going to hammer this one here because that's something we do here at Stop Doing Nothing, and it's something I would offer to you if you're interested in, that if you're having this problem of not getting because you're stuck in a vanity cycle, then that's something I would suggest to you. And also be careful about the comparison syndrome. In other words, the obviously comparing yourself all the time to somebody else who has that. They will make you want it online by virtue of them showing it, even if it's not something in your goal list there. So, and again, also be careful about how you use the phrase. You think you deserve more, or you are not getting what you deserve in life. You really are not here in this world to get what you deserve. You are here in this world to get what you work for, what luck drops in your lap. And remember, again, luck is excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze again. Luck is a huge part of success. It really is. But again, that luck comes from creating your opportunities. And so if you put yourself in more situations where luck might fling itself into your lap, then guess what? You are going to be more lucky. It just works out that way. It's pretty damn cool. So for those of you that are watching, I would always love your opinion below. As always, do me a favor, share, like, and subscribe. If you're listening to this on iTunes, subscribe to the podcast. And if you are listening to us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you are on Facebook, please do me a favor, make sure you like the Facebook fan page, the Stop Doing Nothing fan page, so you can get our other broadcasts. And by the way, we've got close to 100 videos on YouTube and 100 podcast episodes. And by the way, we're even on Alexa here. So if you've got Alexa in your house, do yourself a favor and use Alexa and subscribe to the Stop Doing Nothing podcast. Thanks for chiming in, you guys. Everyone have a good day, and we'll talk to you soon.